If you live in Elkridge and have a dog, you already know that having a well-behaved pup makes life so much better. But yeah, finding the right trainer can feel like a pretty big task. So, in this explainer, we're going to walk through exactly how to find a fantastic training professional right here in our own community.
I mean, that's what it's all about, right? Being able to confidently enjoy everything, whether it's just a quiet walk down your street or a fun trip to a local park. A well-trained dog is a happy dog, and that, of course, makes for a very happy owner. All right, so here's our game plan. We'll kick things off with how to start your search. Then we'll get into the different training methods. After that, we'll cover how to choose the right pro, what to expect with costs, and finally, we'll wrap up with some local Elkridge rules and resources.
Okay, first things first. Before you even start Googling trainers, the most important step is to get really clear on your own goals. Honestly, knowing what you want to achieve makes finding the right person to help you so much easier.
So, what are you aiming for? Are you just looking for some good basic manners to have a wonderful family companion? Or are you dealing with something a little more complex that needs what's called behavior modification? Hey, maybe you've got bigger dreams like competition or therapy work. Each of these goals points to a totally different kind of training expertise.
And you also got to be honest about what your dog is struggling with. A brand new puppy has completely different needs than an adult dog that pulls on the leash or gets really reactive around other dogs. Pinpointing these issues is absolutely key to finding a trainer who's seen it all before.
And remember, the training involves you too. It's not just about the dog. The format you choose has to fit your lifestyle, your schedule, and the way you learn best. You've got quite a few options. You know, group classes are fantastic for socialization. Private lessons give you that one-on-one coaching right in your own home. Day training is where a pro works with your dog while you're at work. And then there are board and train programs, which are much more immersive. You can even get coaching remotely through video calls these days.
So, now that you have a better idea of what you need, let's talk about the how. We're talking about the philosophy and the science behind good, modern, effective dog training. Today, what you're going to hear about most is positive reinforcement. And really, all it means is rewarding the behaviors you want to see again, like when your dog sits calmly or walks nicely on the leash. This approach doesn't just teach commands, it also builds your dog's confidence and really makes your bond so much stronger. Now for the tougher stuff, like if your dog is really fearful or reactive, a trainer will use more specific behavior modification techniques. This is usually a really careful, gradual process to help safely change your dog's emotional response to whatever is triggering that behavior. Okay, so you know your goals, you understand the methods. Let's talk about how to actually spot a real professional out there. You might see a whole alphabet soup of letters after a trainer's name. They're not just for show. These are professional credentials. They prove that a trainer has passed some tough exams on things like animal learning theory and training techniques, and it shows they're committed to ongoing education and ethical standards. And here's something you absolutely need to know if you live in Maryland: the state does not license dog trainers. That means pretty much anyone can hang up a shingle and call themselves a trainer. So the responsibility really falls on you, the owner, to check their qualifications and make sure you're working with a legitimate professional.
Next up, let's get into the practical side of things. We're going to cover what you should expect to pay and, more importantly, the questions you absolutely have to ask. This table should give you a general ballpark of what training costs look like around Howard County. A group class that runs for a few weeks might be a couple $100s. Private lessons are usually charged by the hour. And then you have the more intensive options, like a board and train, which are, a pretty significant investment. Of course, all these prices will vary depending on the trainer's experience and your dog's specific needs. So how do you actually vet a trainer? Well, here's a simple process. First, schedule a quick call just to get a feel for their personality and style. Ask them directly about their methods and their experience. Always clarify all the costs up front. That includes any fees for traveling to you in Elkridge. And finally, check out their online reviews and don't be shy about asking for references. To help with that conversation, here are some must-ask questions. You'll want to ask about their training methods, their specific experience with your dog's breed or particular issue, and how they track progress. And for those more complicated behavior cases, asking if they collaborate with veterinarians is a great sign of a thorough professional. All right, for our last section, let's bring it all home and talk about putting these skills to work right here in our Elkridge community.
It's always a good idea to know the local rules of the road. Here in Howard County, There is a leash law, which means your dog has to be on a leash anytime they're off your property. Licensing is required for dogs over 4 months old, and rabies vaccinations are mandatory. These are all just part of being a responsible dog owner around here.
You know, this is where the magic really happens, when you take what you've learned in a training session and you apply it out in the real world. You should think of your own neighborhood and our amazing local parks as the best possible gym for practicing and strengthening all those new behaviors.
And we have some fantastic spots for this. You can head over to Patsko Valley State Park to work on staying calm around hikers and bikers. Rockburn Branch Park is perfect for some focused work when it's not too crowded. The BWI Trail is a great challenge for practicing focus with all sorts of distractions, from joggers to airplanes. And hey, even your own sidewalk is the perfect place to master that polite leash walking.
At the end of the day, training isn't really about control. It's about building a partnership. It gives you the confidence to know that your dog is ready to get out there and enjoy everything our amazing community has to offer, right there by your side.
So, it really all boils down to this. Real, lasting success comes from combining kind, modern training methods with lots and lots of consistent practice in the very places you and your dog actually live and play. So now that you have a plan, where are you and your dog going to go first? Maybe it's just a peaceful walk through the neighborhood, or a relaxing afternoon at the park, or maybe it's just calmly greeting friends when they come over to your house. With this plan, you're ready to start that journey. I wish you and your dog the absolute best in all your adventures together.